Hi, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your January general reading for 2021. It's the first reading for you for 2021. And so I've already done some shuffling and meditation on your sign. I'm using the Impressionist Tarot. Of course, we'll be clarifying with La Vida Sibila, and we'll wrap it up with a Golden Nostradamus. This is going to be a mini cross reading. And I will tell you that while I was shuffling, we had a card fall out. And just give me 1 second, and I'm going to turn the camera around. The lighting is better today because the sun is out. It wasn't out yesterday. So your card that fell out while I was shuffling was the Reverse Magician. So that is where we are now. And there are two things about this card. The first is that we can look at it, since it represents Mercury. This could be the idea of the Mercury in retrograde, which is happening January 30th at 26 Aquarius. The other thing that you need to know about the Reverse Magician is that it has several meanings. It can mean that you don't have the, your energies are being scattered. You don't have the ability right now to marry your will with your intention to get things done. So you could be feeling a bit lazy. Maybe your thoughts are off, fuzzy thinking. It could mean also that whatever projects that you are working on are going to reverse. They're not going to be as successful as you thought they were. But also sometimes the magician reverse can be the idea of somebody pretending to be something that they are not. Okay? So with that said, that's where we start. I'm going to put a rifle on this again. And let me just rifle them instead of shuffling. Because the card that has just fallen out is the card for here. And that represents the energies, the incoming energies. We have the Eight of Swords. Wow. Let me just pull. Now, this is the foundation of what we stand on. The Temperance. The Near or Distant Past. The Chariot. That's interesting. The Near or Distant Future. The Five of Cups. And what is over the entire reading? We have the Ten of Wands. Well, what this says to me, I stand by the first interpretation of this reversed magician, in that what this says is that you just don't have the mental energy right now to see your way through whatever this situation is. Also, that for some of you, if there was a trip that you were about to take, those plans have been squashed. Maybe you don't know about it yet, but there's going to be some type of delay that is to be expected in the Mercury retrograde. Sometimes it's due to bad weather. Sometimes it's due to you get to the airport and you find out that they don't even have your seat in the system, that someone else is going to cancel, their plans will change. Now, this Temperance card is really about the act of balancing your emotions, right? The cups. And this represents the sign of Sagittarius. So we're also talking about the fire, your ambition, and your desire. I feel that for some of you, this is a major disappointment. You feel stuck and you don't know how to get yourself out of this particular situation. Maybe whatever this trip or meeting was all about was going to help you move forward. But even still, I also feel that even if it does, there's going to be some, regrets about this, a bit of sorrow. And basically, I don't think this is anything extremely negative. It's not something that is quote unquote life altering, but it's simply the idea that emotionally you're tapped. All right. This 10 of Wands over the top speaks to the idea of not taking on other people's responsibilities. Okay. In other words, you're tapped out. There's nothing else that you can do. And no matter how people may implore you or how you try to force yourself to move through this situation, at this particular moment, there's really nothing that you can do. And so this 8 of Swords to me is saying to me that you're going to have to change the way that you think. Right now, you're extremely worried. You are fearful. Some of you may even feel as though you've been placed in this position, but that's not true. We always agree to certain things one way or the other, right? And we do it because we think that there's something we're going to get out of it. Even if you're doing something for someone else, you know, you're doing something for someone else, and maybe what you hope is that when the time comes, they're going to return the favor. If that's the case, I'm going to tell you, no, they're not going to return the favor for you. So let me give you the meaning of this card. The 8 of Swords. It says you need to find a way to free yourself from the bonds of entrapment. Cut ties, slip out the back door, and try not to fall into the same trap again. The key words are bondage, entrapment, imprisonment, and victimization. And I feel that for some of you, you have taken on more than you can handle. You have bitten off more than you can chew. And now you find yourself in a situation in which you're just all tapped out. I want to read this Chariot because I think this is also very important for you. It is a 7, and the Chariot speaks to the idea that if you are able to balance the fire and the water, your emotions and your will, which you're not able to do at this moment for whatever reason, but that if you do, if you can definitely get to where you want to go, right? It may be a difficult road, but you will eventually arrive there. I also feel you're going to arrive there with a few lessons under your belt about what to do and what not to do. Remember, this card cautions, don't fall into the same trap again. So I do feel that some of you have already fallen into the same trap, and you're just going to have to, for lack of a better term, grin and bear it. This is not a permanent state. This is something that is temporary, as evidenced here by these horses and this boat that implies movement. I do feel that for some of you, you're going to have to go back and revisit this reverse magician. In other words, if you can balance the emotions and the ambition or desire or the will, change the way that you think, right? Get ready to get on your horses. Eventually, this will reverse itself. The Chariot says, look for new horizons. You can go anywhere and do anything if you have the courage of your convictions. Do not take no for an answer. If you cannot get through an obstacle, then go around it. This speaks to forward movement, change, speed, triumph, and control. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this magician to see if this is actually just you being off your game, or if this is someone else who is actively opposing you at this time. We know that astrologically, we are dealing with perhaps situations that people changing their minds, messages not getting through, you haven't heard anything, you don't know what to say, you don't know what to think, right? But even if all those things are going on, only you get to control your own thoughts. Nobody else does, right? And so sometimes this card can be feeling sorry for yourself. Well, feeling sorry for yourself may, I don't know, comfort you a bit, but it's not going to change your situation. You're going to have to actively change the situation. That is what the upright magician is about. It is about bringing to bear all of your tools and resources. And by resources, I don't just mean your finances. This is getting yourself straight physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, so that you can harness all of those resources. What skills do you have? What are you bringing to the table? Whatever you have, whatever resources that you have, you're going to have to turn around, dig deep, and employ those resources for yourself. So let's see what this magician is trying to tell us here. The Yardro, very negative. The Superbia, and the Mercante. Now, normally the Mercante is a businessman. He is shrewd. He can be, if not wealthy, then well-to-do, but not because he was born with wealth. It was something that he's worked on. So I do feel that it has to do with this King of Coins here, and that's who he represents. The Yardro represents a very, very negative change. And here with the Superbia, and let me give you the meaning of the Superbia. And it is a wands card. It's a 2 of wands, or the 2 of clubs. So, no, it's not the 2. It is the, I don't even know what that number is. My cards are so old. I got 2 new decks. I just won't use them. Let me see here. It may be this. It's not the 6. It may be the ace. Let me see. No, it's not the ace. I don't know what number that is. I can't seem to read it. It looks like the 2. Huh. Oh, yeah. Superbia. It's called the Haughtiness card, and I'm looking for the Superbia. Basically, the card predicts divine protection. A protection so strong that it is able to shield you from any and all misfortune. No matter how many other people may be affected by this negativity, you will remain untouched and prosper. This card represents a powerful divine blessing. It marks a period of good luck and the success of the matter inquired about. It represents joy, happiness, and positive new encounters with people. It also represents the fulfillment of a dream and a prayer that will be answered. Regardless of how many negative cards may show up in the same spread, this card has the power to annul them and bring good luck despite setbacks. In business, it represents prosperity, good fortune, fame, recognition, success, career, or social advancement. In love, it represents a conquest and happiness in a lasting union. Now, as a character reference, it may mark a person who is overly concerned with his or her looks and or social status, or a person who is a bit standoffish. I don't know what the last thing was that you heard, but I was explaining to you that as a character description, it can represent someone who is overly concerned with his or her looks and social status, or a person who is a bit standoffish. Now, let me read to you this thief, because this card is extremely negative. And what it can represent is someone who actually physically steals something from someone, or it can be that someone is usually dependent and is a great financial strain on you. On a broader level, the card indicates contracts with hidden clauses that lock people into having to pay for something that they do not really want, or contracts that offer little or no way of terminating them. More often than not, it is connected to the loss of something physical and obtaining money by deception. It heralds a negative change of events, which is why it fell upon this reversed magician. It is these events are caused by the presence of ill-intentioned people. When it is near a significator card, it indicates someone who wants to acquire something that does not belong to them, and someone with ulterior motives and a calculating mind. It is the card that indicates mental, emotional, or physical and or financial drain, a very taxing situation. On an emotional level, which is why I think this card and this card has come out, it refers to treachery and betrayal. It refers to demeaning situations, moral practices, or being forced to do something under duress, either mental or physical. Financially, it heralds a theft, the loss of money, loan sharks, extortions, money laundering, business offers that will be revoked, illegal activities, or obtaining things by deception, including Ponzi schemes and swindles of all kinds. Let's see. In love, it indicates someone who's unfaithful and or someone who wants to steal you or your partner for themselves. It also indicates a lack of affinity between people, whether in a love relationship or not. It is a card of contracts and clashes of personality. So, what I feel is that you're dealing with a male who has been quite difficult to deal with. Perhaps you've been carrying this person during the bulk of the work. Well, this card says here with the Superbia in the center, says to you really, so if this is a worry that you're not going to, be able to, extricate yourself or rectify this situation or redress the issue of power and control, because this is really what it feels like. This card says, yes, you can. But in order to do that, again, you're going to have to get real clear. Do not let sentiment, fear, or even anger deter you from what it is you have to do, and change the way that you think. I think you will have to redress the issue with this person, but you're going to have to go to them and say, you know what, I can't do this, or I can't do this anymore, or I'm not willing to do this. Speak up for yourself and allow people to do the things that they are supposed to do. Don't take on other people's stuff, okay? That always gets us in trouble. So formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus, and I will pull a card for you. Here we go. This card wants to come out. Number 14. And if I'm not mistaken, that's called the Treasures. The Coffer. Often richness goes to people who cannot understand the value. This card predicts earnings, treasures, sound investments. Business deals will be favored or gather the fruits of seeds sown in the past. Basically, what this is telling me is that if you're partnering up with this person, or you're trying to, you need to kick them to the curb and in a hurry, because they're not in it to help you. They're in it to help themselves. And so that's what I have for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I have the heat on. It's so hot in here. For January 2021, I do hope those messages help. And until next time, namaste.